Baylen the Haymaker was a figure of legend in the rolling hills and fields of Bloomburrow, a quiet village nestled at the edge of the sprawling Haymeadow. Though known far and wide as a warrior of exceptional skill, Baylen was a reluctant hero, more at home with the hum of a plough and the quiet rustle of wheat than the clang of steel. They were not a seeker of fame, nor one to parade their abilities, but destiny, and the tumultuous forces of nature had other plans. Born in the heart of Three Tree City, a bustling hub of commerce and culture, Baylen had once lived among the lizard folk, a people as fierce and fiery as the molten rivers that ran through their lands. It was there, amid the smoky air and the clashing of swords, that Baylen learned the art of combat, honing their skills with the same intensity they applied to every task. The lizard folk, with their resilience and their love of battle, shaped much of Baylen's early life. They were a culture forged in the flames of conflict, and Baylen too had tasted the heat of their fiery ways. Yet despite their training, there was always a deep yearning within them, a yearning for peace, for solitude, for the serenity of the rural life. It was a longing that pulled them from the bustle of Three Tree City and led them south, away from the crowded streets and the clash of swords, to the quiet fields of Haymeadow. Here, Baylen found solace among the earth, tending the land and sowing the seeds of crops. For a time, it seemed they had found their place in the world, far from the storms of battle and bloodshed. Yet even here, in this remote village, Baylen could not escape the call of destiny. The Calamity Beast disturbances were a growing threat to the lands of Bloomburrow. Strange, unnatural creatures, terrifying and deadly, began to emerge from the dark corners of the world, threatening the peace that Baylen had so desperately sought. Rumors of these creatures began to stir unease in the people of Haymeadow, and it was not long before Baylen was approached by a scout from the elite Paw Patch Party, a group of warriors devoted to protecting the valley and its people. Though Baylen had no desire to return to the life of war, the growing threat of the calamities could not be ignored. Reluctantly, Baylen agreed to join the Paw Patch Party, knowing that they were needed. The warriors of the party were brave, well-trained and strong, but none had the raw power that Baylen possessed. Their body and spirit seemed to resonate with a primal energy, an untapped force that could be harnessed to great effect. It was this innate magic, a power that surged within them whenever they called upon it, that made Baylen a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. Yet despite their formidable strength, Baylen's heart was never fully in the fight. They fought not for glory, not for renown, but because they could not stand idly by while their people were threatened. Their weapon of choice was an unusual one, a scythe, not made of traditional steel, but forged from a metallized chili pepper, which glowed with a red, fiery light when channeled with their magic. It was a weapon of power, forged from the same fiery energy that ran through Baylen's veins. When wielded in battle, the scythe cut through the air with a terrifying grace, and the raw magic that Baylen imbued it with turned the tide of many battles. But despite their prowess, Baylen could never shake the feeling that they were a farmer at heart, only ever taking up arms when absolutely necessary. And so it was that when the first true threat from the Calamity Beasts emerged in the form of a rampaging creature that seemed more nightmare than reality, Baylen once again found themselves called to action. The beast had appeared at the outskirts of Haymeadow, its dark form a towering shadow in the twilight. It was a creature of destruction, an embodiment of chaos, and it seemed intent on wiping the village from existence. Baylen, who had spent so many years tending to the land, now found themselves standing on the edge of it, ready to defend it with every ounce of strength they had. With the scythe in hand, Baylen rushed into battle, their fur, a pristine white tinged with patches of brown, fluttering in the wind. Their eyes, as black as midnight, burned with a fierce resolve. The fiery petals of their armor, woven from the blooms of a rare flower found only in the wilds, shimmered in the light of the setting sun. Adorned with silver leaf-shaped pauldrons and a belt buckle that gleamed in the twilight, Baylen looked every bit the warrior, even if they did not feel like one. The Calamity Beast was a hulking, monstrous thing, its form a mass of twisted sinew and claws, but Baylen was not intimidated. They were a Rabbitfolk, small in stature but quick and nimble, qualities that made them deadly in the heat of battle. As they channeled the raw magic within, their scythe glowed brighter, red-hot and thrumming with power. The magic surged through their limbs, imbuing their body with strength, speed, and an almost unnatural grace. It was a battle unlike any they had fought before, a clash of magic and might, but in the end, Baylen stood victorious. The Calamity Beast was driven off, its rampage halted by the sheer force of Baylen's power. But even as the beast fled into the night, Baylen knew that the battle was far from over. The Paw Patch Party, despite its strength, was not enough to protect all of Bloomburrow. There were more beasts, more threats lurking in the shadows, and Baylen could not, in good conscience, leave Haymeadow defenseless. They left the party, choosing to return to their home and protect the people they had come to love. Thus, Baylen became a protector of Haymeadow, standing as the first and last line of defense against the forces that would seek to destroy it. Their legacy, though quiet, was one of strength, determination, and an unyielding commitment to the land they called home. In the end, it was not the fame or the glory that Baylen sought, but the peace of Haymeadow that they had fought so fiercely to defend.